I think I'd just like to trash talk capitalism for a little while. I know I pointed out before that I believe that it's not working and we need to replace it. Now, that's a personal perspective. It's not working for me, so it's easy for me to see that it's not working. But for, a lot of people, it's kind of working. I mean, they got food, they got a place to live. We're all pretty comfortable. I live in Canada. Even in poverty, I live pretty well. Got a full belly, nice place to live. Can't complain that much. But there is some problems with capitalism on a systematic scale. As pointed out before, in order to have wealth, you have to have poverty. There's a limited amount of money. I don't care what anybody says about abundance or whatever bullshit they tell you. If there's a limited amount of money in the world, and if most of that money is sitting in billionaire bank accounts, then it's not being moved through the poor people to raise them out of poverty. Wealth is a problem caused by capitalism. Capitalism also has a couple of other problems, mostly to do with profit and revenue streams. One of those problems is transitioning to a higher standard. Once we've built an infrastructure to produce a standard, let's take a good example is hot water heaters. Now we're able to make enough hot water heaters for everybody and meet that demand. It's profitable. It creates a revenue stream. Those hot water heaters fail every 10 years or whatever it is. They have a limited life and have to be replaced. There is a better standard. It is called a flash heater. It takes less material and doesn't wear out. It's simply a tube that pushes the gas through to heat the water on demand. It's a much better standard. Capitalism, however, continues to favor the old existing infrastructure because in order for the new standard to become competitive, it has to compete with the lower prices of the existing standard and infrastructure while creating a new infrastructure to maintain the new standard. This is very difficult to do unless you've got a lot of money so you can put your competitor out of business. If you don't have enough money, that competitor that has the existing standard and infrastructure can reduce their prices enough to price you out of the market even though you have a superior technology. Look it up. Hot water heaters are an antiquated standard. Flash heating hot water heaters should be the new standard, and we should be allocating resources to building the infrastructure in order to support the new standard. Capitalism struggles with this unless it's done by the people with the money. So the people with the hot water heaters that are selling the hot water heaters that have a nice stable financial stream, a revenue stream, would have to risk that revenue stream and make a heavy investment to build a new infrastructure so they can provide the new standard, which gets to, because the flash heaters don't wear out, it becomes a saturated market. So once everybody has flash heaters, we don't have to make new flash heaters. We only have to produce enough to put into new homes and for new construction, but there is no maintenance revenue stream like the replacement of hot water heaters. I know it's a lot, but it's a good example how capitalism struggles to handle an improvement in standards. And when it gets to the saturation market, so you've built enough, for this example, we'll take solar panels. So you've built enough solar panels, you covered all the roofs in all of the cities, all of the parking lots, all of the bike paths are all covered in solar panels. All of a sudden, there's no more revenue creating solar panels because it's reached a saturation. And a saturation market is a death to a corporate entity because it can no longer generate revenue, let alone grow, because that's the key to capitalism, is growth. And that's why it can't do these two things very well, because the saturation market no longer creates growth. The new standard creates growth to compete with an existing standard. And that growth comes at a cost until you become the standard. Capitalism doesn't like to do that. Therefore, the existing infrastructures tend to continue to exist long past the invention of a higher standard that will create a saturation that will destroy the capitalist market. Capitalism is not equipped to handle those things. If you add in automation and what we can do with AI and robots and eliminate jobs but still get everything done, capitalism has no idea what to do with automation and unemployment. Unifocracy examined those things and has incorporated them into a system that creates deflation, embraces new standards, looks for saturation so it can create unemployment while maintaining a higher quality of life. And everybody can go off and do other things like entertainment and education and recreation and art and spending time with people they love and building stronger communities that don't revolve around the need to have a financial stability or a revenue stream or a constant ridiculous growth that is not realistic. Capitalism, thank you for all you've done in this world. It's pretty cool, but it's time for something else to come forward so that we can move forward to a better world that is not limited by the need to have a revenue stream and profit. Capitalism, you're done. There's better things out there and we're going to use them, and capitalism is no longer going to be the end-all be-all. It's not going to be the greatest way to do things, and we're going to see past it and we're going to demand change. And that change is going to look a lot like unifocracy. Thank you for listening. I know it was a lot. Don't know if you get it or not, but have a good day, and we'll see you in that ring.